because they pull more signal.
Yeah.
There we go. But now have comments.
Yep.
Here. What I can do is I can drag this screen here, so if we get comments from you, no, don't snap over there, you silly screen. If we get comments from one of the other screens, it'll come up over there.
Yeah.
Froze briefly here because it's playing around with stuff here. There we go. And it is unmuted, so it should be all good to go. Everyone here is fine. We're getting reacts.
Okay. Yay.
Oh, actually, now that we've had the heater going for a while, it's warm enough to take the hat off. I'll put it in the out folder.
There you go.
Now the trick is remembering where I left it.
Yeah, I suppose I could take it.
Yeah, because you're going to get on to doing physical activities. Oh, we've got auto caption going.
Oh, that's fun.
Jessica Richards is watching.
Hello. Oh, I get it going over here on.
Yes, I will also get the
Because I'm gonna start off with.
Yes, we did start a few minutes early, making sure everything was functional and we didn't leave it on mute again.
Yeah, that's always bad.
Yeah.
Oh, never happened, right?
Right. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Okay. Oh yes, because there was a thing. All the devices have to log back in.
Oh yeah. Somebody
There we
tried
go.
to hack my account and failed.
Come on, come on. Scroll down. Where do old phones go to die? They become. No,
PDAs.
stop updating.
How
them.
is that for an outdated term? They become PDAs.
Yes. Come on, come on. There we go.
Okay, there we
1590s
have-
Scotland.
Ooh.
So 1590s, you have quite a bit of choice.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, you have the about 100 years prior.
And you get the fancy import wear.
Ah, your wheel head is still clean. Your wheel is off.
Let me see.
Check.
Yes, it's still off.
Okay. These are all 1500s styles of pottery. Now, the only one made in Europe
Is
is that
right
piece
here.
there.
'Cause
That
I-
one was 1500s Flemish, and I actually have the comparison image made for this one. So we can bring it up on the screen. Because that's one that there is both extant copies of and it's included in paintings.
So
So
we
see now that painting is from 1567.
thought it was 1560s, but it wasn't.
And that's a design that you see clear into the 1800s.
Yeah, because
Pottery
it's a very
forms don't change much over time.
other than this one is a little mini cup.
Yeah, that one's a miniature.
And this one is to imitate salt firing.
Yeah, that's actually a combination of two different glazes.
And we know what it's
got it.
supposed to look like.
We got thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And there are other pieces, other types of designs that are also available at that time period. The middle cup there is Iznik,
Which is a
And-
region in Turkey,
which is a region in Turkey.
in modern day Turkey. they
And
had,
it's a city that's been around for over 500 years.
Yeah.
And they're still making that style of pottery to this day. It
And why
started
it
about
was
early 1500s.
straight is it was a stone paste, which is not a true clay, so it doesn't make the nice roundy fancy shapes. It does straight, it does
Yeah,
flat.
rotate it to show off the fact that that handle is very flat.
Because if you look at it,
It's very blocky. And that would have been fancier import wear.
also comfortable to hold.
Strangely comfortable. We had no idea how comfortable that handle would be until after we made the first one.
So it's a creamy white clay. This is actually a smooth white stoneware, so it's
a little
Usable.
stronger than the fritware, which is what they were using. And here, let me move these two out of the way.
Okay. And there's this one.
That one is later Italian Renaissance.
Yes.
That particular piece is from about 1505. Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's just a stoneware, but what was really
Is that one stone or
popular.
is that one porcelain?
No, it might be porcelain. It was just that I looked at it. No, yeah, that would be porcelain because it has that creamy feel
It's
to it.
got that texture. It's got that silken texture. You know, the porcelain, the fact that it's porcelain is not period correct.
But yeah, what was period correct was stoneware that was painted white,
Which is more like this one here.
which is actually whiter than the other
Yes.
because of kind of see, because you have the bottom here, which is just a
Stoneware.
your run-of-the-mill stoneware, but it was be painted white because the white creamy clays were really popular.
Liz is joining. Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, and Lynn's watching. Hello. So yeah, that's the and that whitewashed stoneware is something that has been around since before the era of this piece, which is 900. What I can do is I can switch to have that one up on the screen. Play hunt the image. There it
Because
is.
the original for this pattern was
There
a
we go.
platter
With feet.
with feet. Yeah, the little bow feet on the
Yeah,
bottom
some
of
point
these
we've gotta
big,
do the-
huge platters. But yeah, once again, it's this stoneware,
What is
Painted
stronger? I have a klutz.
the stoneware,
The stoneware is the stronger
because
clay.
the stoneware has grit. Any clay with grit is going to be stronger than a smooth clay.
Yes. Because it's like the difference between a brick, which is clay, and a glass block.
Or
It's
the
strong,
difference
but it's
between
gonna
a
shatter.
clay brick and a concrete block, because concrete block has lots of aggregate matter in it. In
Yeah.
other words, rocks and sand and stuff.
Oh, be still my heart. I love the horse.
Yeah,
There-
and it says, and I have really small hands.
Yes.
See, this is how I tell if it's a big handle or not.
Honestly, most of your period handles are smaller.
There we go.
Case in point, small handles. This one here is more of
Would
a
be a smaller than this actually.
yeah. That
It'd
one's
be
one of the
big enough-
closest
It would
ones.
be one of the ones that I'd only be able to fit one of my fingers through. I can fit 2 fingers.
And
in.
that ones are about the turn of the first millennium. Huh. Hello, Tony.
No.
Hello, Liz. I can't read the print on the picture. The horse is 900s. So it's it would be the 10th century.
Yes.
Always having to translate. It's Nishapur, so it's another Middle Eastern type pattern. And that one's in the Asian Art Museum. And yes, with this
San
one,
Francisco.
there's that chunk of pattern that was missing on the original that we had to.
Oh, the cool thing about the first time we made it,
Oh yeah.
it was 12th night, which was down in San Jose that year.
Yeah, that's where it was.
And person
was-
who came in and they looked at it and they told us
Yeah,
we did a good
we-
job.
We gave the spiel about the background of the piece, and it was a book that we just gotten for Christmas. It was like a little
Yes.
$5 art book
From the Asian Art
from the
Museum,
Art Museum.
oddly enough.
And we were going the whole spiel, and he's like, "Yes, I know. That's really cool. Yes, I know. I was the one who did the restoration of the piece." And I'm like, "Oh, you've got to handle the real thing.
That was
That's so
really
cool."
cool.
Thank you for the compliment. And Liz says hello.
Hello.
But yeah, that turquoise
A lot
is
of
another
times they were
period
meant
lace.
to just have one finger through and you
Yeah.
hold onto the cup like this.
Hand warmer shape.
Yeah.
See now
It's
that
the nice
is
bulbous shaped cups.
the-
Because you
I'm
hold onto
playing
them like
with the
this.
image.
Personally,
There it is.
I kind of like this shaped cup
So
because it sits
there.
in the hand
there you
nicely.
can see just how small the handle
Yeah,
on the original
Because
was.
if you look at it,
tiny.
look at that comparatively.
Yeah.
It's like half the size. But for modern usability, you want to actually be able to get a finger in there.
Yeah.
Somebody with normal sized hands to get one finger, I can fit 2 fingers in there.
Or thumb.
Or thumb. But even if you had a big thumb, you'd
Yeah,
still be able
it
to
would.
fit it in there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's what they were designed for.
So, does anyone else have questions about specific era or persona type of piece? Or shall I show off more of the pieces that are behind me? Because we also have the Greek, we got the Iron Age, we got the
10th century
Norse,
Norse.
which was actually made in Northern Ireland.
Is when they were settling Northern Ireland. We've got stuff that came.
Otherwise known as the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like a wonderful oh, it'd be wonderful to warm your hands on a cold day. We tend to refer to those globy forms as hand warmer shapes.
Because they're very comfortable.
Also, the spherical shape, it's going to keep your contents warm longer.
And and they're nice and they don't slosh over.
When did people start using butter bells? Butter bells are far more modern.
Yeah.
They're 1800s, I want to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, or maybe as early as late 1700s. So about 1800-ish.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly.
It's outside of the normal time period that we've done a lot of research on.
We've done a little because we've had a number of people who asked us to make them. So we make butter bells.
Yes, we have. So the comparison between the Etruscan and the Greek. Mind you, the Etruscan piece there has
and
a larger base than on the original. Yes, it has the spirals down on the inside. And again, the teeny tiny handles.
But the handles, that's where your thumb is meant to sit.
Yeah.
It's
a handle hook. It's a finger hook rather than a handle.
It's where the thumb sits. We'd had one of our customers ordered one, so made 2 of them just in case.
Also, so he got to pick
he got to pick which one. The original, the base was about half that size.
Yeah.
But he wanted it so he'd actually
It
be able
was
to use
likely
it
to
to
hit.
spill it.
The strange thing is a lot of the
I
earlier
really like the way
period
that
cups
one
had
came out.
really tiny bases.
Yeah, and the Etruscan, it isn't always the red clay.
No.
That's the color of the clay.
Yeah, because this is actually that same stoneware clay.
Yeah. The original on
the ultimate in not setting your cup down.
The Rhytons.
The interesting thing is the Rhytons have been various forms of the animal-headed drinking horn made out of clay. And the Etruscan is a nice soup bowl.
Yeah, it is. I really like the way that one came out.
The animal-headed drinking vessels, and they weren't always animals.
Picture.
Yeah, you're in shot.
Oh, I can just look over here.
Yes, very
Duh.
true. The animal-headed drinking vessels. You see them in Etruscan. You see them in Mesopotamia. They were really early form, and you see them right into like the Victorian age. At that point, they were referred to as stirrup cups. They were often small, made of silver,
You have
and they were handed up to the riders on the hunt. And
see
that
the
was a puppy
face.
dog face.
It's
Slightly
a
out
cute
of the
little
smooth it back.
There
There we go.
we don't have very good webcams.
No, they're very inexpensive. You can do a fair bit with inexpensive webcams. And the last great piece you have there is a skiffos.
Skiffos, which sits in the hand, kind of like this.
Yeah. We've actually made a number of those for people who have hand issues.
Yeah, because I'm not holding, it just sits on my thumb.
It just sits over the thumb joint.
And if you could just go like that.
You don't have to have much manual dexterity.
Yeah. And also, even if you have your hand like this,
it's not going to fall out of your hand.
you'd have to really work on having it fall out of your hand.
And this is a miniature one. There's also ones that hold like 20 ounces. You're just huge.
Just huge.
There's ones that look like small buckets.
Oh, yeah. And that's a vine design on that one, but they have all sorts of different designs.
Let's see. The two pieces, both made out of the black clay, but of different eras.
This one, which is something we've made for over a decade.
Yeah.
We were asked.
10th century Norse.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can bring up the image. There you are.
Because initially it wasn't a black clay that they were using.
No.
They were coal-fired kilns.
Yeah, they were the method of firing turned the clay black.
Yes.
We are actually utilizing the black clay.
Clay in an electric kiln, it's all food safe.
It's not.
That's why this part is glazed, because where your mouth touches,
You want it for
sealed.
the modern food safety.
Yeah. Nice, heavy, sturdy clay body. If you want something that's sturdy, the black clay is really sturdy.
And this piece, again, is about, it's that turn of the first millennia. That one's about 1000.
Northern Ireland
Yes.
is actually
Because
the Norse.
Scandinavia has no clay.
Somebody wanted the 10th century Viking Cup.
Now you did
So we did
have,
research.
you did have the like Dublin was originally a Viking town.
Yeah, as far
They
south
had-
as Dublin.
They had their settlements in Northern Ireland. They
Yeah.
had access to clay, just not in Scandinavia.
But it was the Scandinavians.
So yeah, if you had a Norse persona, here, let's set the Iron Age cup aside for a second.
Yes.
And so now, these would all be things that would be accessible to someone with a Norse persona. Block of text. Oh, do you know if salt cellars would have been used in 15th century Spain? The answer is yes. I love the butter bills and salt cellars, but want them to be historically accurate. Salt cellars got so elaborate because it was a big status symbol if you could have a boat of salt on your table. And oftentimes they were shaped like boats and all sorts of different things.
Yeah. Animals, and you could like pour it out their mouth, and
Oftentimes it was the raised dish. And I can look them up to see some examples. That would be a neat thing to look up.
yeah.
Because they get really sculptural.
Yeah.
So here, I will grab these guys and you can put back out the Iron Age.
Iron Age one.
Which would be
This
about 500 BCE to 100 CE.
Yeah, these ones.
Yes.
And this is because we've been watching Time Team,
Yeah.
which is a show you can watch it
just
on YouTube or
beautiful forms.
other ways of getting it too.
Yeah.
But
Most of the seasons are no longer free to watch on Prime on Amazon. But they do have the specials up.
some of them.
Some of them.
There's like
First.
10.
8.
Eight.
8 episodes worth.
Yeah.
And one of them is the last one in the series of 8 is a 3-parter and it's only part 1.
I know.
So frustrating.
I know. But yeah.
But yeah,
Because you'd have
most
to-
of the Iron Age stuff doesn't have a whole lot in way of
But it
surface
has the-
decoration.
You have all the interesting shapes.
That would be later Iron Age because of the upturned lip, which shows more of the Roman influence.
Yes.
Yes, watching far too much Time.
And yet it's the black clay again because, well, the way they fire them, they turn black. And there were some dark colored
And
clays.
they had there were clays that were dark. There were clays that turned black during the firing, much like these.
Yeah, 'cause this one starts off brown.
Yeah, let me go get a chunk of the brown clay. Oh, this bag is partially open. That's no fun. Oh, this is gooey. This is far softer than I wanted to hand you. I will just set this. That is
That's
what
what
it's.
color it starts off at.
And yes, that is clay. That is nothing else. That is clay.
Also, I had somebody go, every time you're throwing with the black clay,
It's
give her a sweet tooth because she said it looked like chocolate.
and when it's at just the right stage, you can
It-
sculpt it like modeling chocolate. It's
Yeah.
wonderful for sculpture.
Yeah.
Seal that bag back up and
Yeah.
clean the brown clay off the fingers.
There's
Oh,
a
there it is.
towel somewhere.
They fallen off the table. Because I scooted the table out of the way.
Yeah. Well, we've had a bit of a thing in our shop.
Yeah, we had
That'll be
first bad rainfall of the season. Discovered one of the windows leaked.
good. It didn't leak a little bit.
There was a couple gallons of water on the floor when we discovered it about 2 days after the rainstorm.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take this one out of the way. So while we're waiting for additional questions, what I can do is cut you off a piece of clay because she needs to make a mate to that one.
You know, hand me the ruler. Where is my?
The ruler?
Yeah, where did I? Oh, it's right here.
Yes, your
It's
ruler.
always
Here.
the. Where is that tool I just had a few minutes
But
ago?
yeah.
Thing.
This is when a lot
See
of
if we have any
fair bit
questions
of
over-
math.
Okay.
Because
On this one, it measures to 4 inches. Over here, it measures to 3.5 inches. But this is a shrink ruler. It will measure 4 different percentages. You have 12%, 14%, 6%, and 10%. Because different clays shrink a different amount.
yeah, some clays shrink considerably when they're fired.
And this one
The
shrinks
12
about.
the 12% part of the ruler was facing her.
Yeah.
The audience could see the 10%.
What I want to do is throw one that looks like that.
Give me my blue ruler.
Yeah, that ruler has centimeters, which is more precise.
Yeah.
But my shrink ruler only has inches.
And what I can do is also
Check to see if there's any questions over on YouTube.
Well, if there was, it'd be coming up over here.
Okay, and there isn't right now. Okay.
What I was going to do is actually bring up the comparison image for this pattern. Since I got the screen cap up. Now, piece that size. It's not a mini, it's more of a small.
Yeah.
So probably more like the 12 ounces of clay.
Yeah, probably.
Wire tool.
And there it is. It's in the drawer.
The
So
reason
the
why
cat
the wire
didn't run.
tool, the reason why the wire tool lives in the drawer is because the cat likes to run off with it.
We don't have the cat out here with us because it's kind of cold this morning. She doesn't like cold.
She's hyper when it's cold.
Yeah. And that's not good.
Nope. And also, skirts also make her hyper because we very seldom wear them, and there's this all this flippy fabric around the legs, and it's just so exciting as far as the cat's concerned. Okay, so this is about 11.5, 12
Something
ounces.
just popped up.
Was Nyx confused with the skirts again?
Yeah.
So it's a case of, hey, kitty, you can just be inside.
Yeah, figured we would just.
So we went hiking out to the trees in the yard to do the morning selfie, which is the reason why people can actually hear me walk around today.
She has her.
I had books.
We have 2 big cedar trees in the backyard.
We have a small copse of forest in the corner.
Yeah, 4 still.
Okay.
Was it 3 trees? But 4.
So you want me to? Oh, I forgot to measure the base.
Yeah.
So the base on this guy is about 2 1/4, and the top is about 3 inches across. And
You could just set it right now.
yeah, what it's gonna do is set it on top of here so you can see the foot.
Well, if you got some.
Oh, this lid.
There.
Stable. But yes, we hiked out to the corner of the yard, did the selfie in costume. Kind of happy about wearing blue today.
I know.
So now it's up to 63.
Yeah, ran the heater for about 15 minutes to get it above 60.
Yeah. I suppose when it comes to figuring out what sort of pottery is appropriate, it's not just to look at what's produced in a certain
Time period.
that spot,
Yeah.
but it's also what tree roots go through.
Yeah.
Because here we go. Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the Spanish.
There you go. Spanish had a different color palette. These ones would have been slightly earlier 1400s.
Yeah. I like a lot of the Spanish designs.
They're very crisp.
Yeah.
There's
There's a lot of blues and browns.
lots of blues and browns, unless they're the ones that are green and black.
Those are the earlier ones.
Yes, the green and black was an earlier color combination.
Yeah.
That's before they found the cobalt mine, I guess.
Or got to having import.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these countries, if you look on a map, you can see the connection.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those are really
It's
the history
easy.
of the Mediterranean in pottery.
Because the reason why Majolica is called Majolica or Majolica, depending on which, Majolica being the older spelling, Majolica which was coined in the 1900s,
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
It was someone who was defining it as a distinct style and therefore changed the name spelling. But the reason why Majolica was called Majolica was because people thought it was made in the island of Majorca in Spain, but what that island was a port. So all this pottery, all this elaborate pottery,
Everything was imported
Yeah.
there.
it was
they didn't
it was
have
a,
any.
It was a trade center. The pottery was being made in names
Yeah.
because Majolica being whitewashed stoneware. Vincent love it. Because that whitewashed stoneware goes back at least to 900.
Yeah.
I think it might go a little further back than that.
Then you have just the blue and white pattern,
Yeah,
the deer, which is 1400s.
yeah, 1400 Italian, which is the blue and white deer pattern.
I really like that pattern.
A little bit before that, in Italy, again you have the black and green.
Well, black and green is easier to come by. Green is what mineral, Sarah?
Green, it's
Green
copper.
Yes. One of my favorite metals, copper.
There's a couple different formulations you can use to achieve a black.
Yeah.
One of them is it includes cobalt.
Yeah.
And
But that tends
there's-
to run.
Yeah, cobalt blacks run. There's also varieties that I think they're iron and a few other things.
Yeah.
Black is formulated.
Well, most colors are formulated.
Yeah. That's one of the things that they actually did find in the Time Team episode where they dug in Spain.
In Spain,
They actually found a kiln that had been a smaller pottery kiln. It was about this big.
and then it had been
And then
converted.
It broken down and they converted it to a furnace for treating oxides for the
Have
colors.
any? Yeah, which was really cool. Oh, Catherine wants to
Do you have any
know.
examples of the 1600s? I generally cap our research when I'm finding things to do
Right around.
right around 1600.
But we can always do more.
Once you get
Because
into
there gets some really interesting things.
once you hit 1600, you actually get Delftware over in England, where you have it's when they took the artisans that had been originally Italian, which were then moved up to the Netherlands. They shipped some of them across into England, and that's where you get Delft. That's the reason why Delft has some similarities to Italian.
Yeah.
They went, hey, potters,
Oh,
easier to transport than pottery.
Which country 1600s
Yeah.
though?
Yeah, what country is 1600s?
Because a lot of the
You have,
ISNIC stuff goes all the way up to 1600 that
Oh.
we do.
they go modern. The
No, I mean some of
Yeah.
our
some of
patterns are
late
like-
late 1500s. inches.
Yeah.
Because I capped those at 16 because there are some color shifts in the designs between 1550 and 1650. I've learned there is a difference in the shade of green that gets used.
Yeah, because they
And you
started
start seeing
using.
pink.
Yeah, pink is weird in place.
And there's pink and orange.
Well, you have the orange already because you have the.
The Italians have the orange.
Yes.
But you don't see the orange on Isnik.
No.
It was
which
just
is
not part of
interesting.
their color palette. They went,
Yeah,
nope.
that those red, blue, yellow, green.
Not much yellow.
But there were some.
Very rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Italians made extensive use of both orange and yellow. And from relatively early on, because this is a design that includes
Yellow
orange.
and orange.
Scotland or Prussian? Okay, Prussia. You're looking at the Bellarmine jugs and salt glazed
Oh, yeah.
German wares.
Yeah. Which are interesting. We've made one or two.
Yes.
Yeah, those we do on
We do the
special order.
Yeah. We do the false
Yeah, and the three handled jugs.
yes.
We used to do those all the time.
The Prussian, the stuff that was made in that region, you're looking at lots of simple single color glazes, a lot of salt firing, which we've developed ways to imitate it that don't
salt
include.
firing is not only toxic for the people doing the firing.
It eats the inside of your kiln. It releases cubic yards of chlorine
It's
gas.
Outlawed in many cities.
And a couple of whole states.
Yeah, and not to mention it's not food safe to drink out of because it's going to leach toxins into what you eat and drink.
1600s Scotland,
But you can
probably
make it.
looking at more the Delft style.
Or import wear.
Or import wear. You're still good at that time period. You're still going to be looking at getting your Italian, your Isnik in, especially if you're more well-to-do.
Or Spanish.
Lots of Spanish wear.
Yeah.
It's the 1600s pottery. It gets a little more ornate.
Yes.
You're moving closer to that Rococo kind of level of art.
Yeah. Just like
particularly the Italian. Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's see how many teeny little details you can fit into a single piece to make it look as
There's a lot of powders one-upping one another.
Yeah. You constantly had to come up with the better patterns.
Use your cookie stamps to make tangent
ornaments. The recipe for ornaments goes back to the 7th century. Cool!
Oh, that's neat!
What if it's in line with some of the recipes that we use for the trencher bread?
Yeah.
Because that was something that was more or less meant to sop up
Not quite oranges yet.
juices and not be eaten by itself, ever. It was a dish. The original, edible dish.
Yeah.
Got sufficient height yet?
Almost.
I'll take this little ring of excess clay and I'll drop it in the food bag.
And
When we were suffering supply chain issues, we started keeping separate scrap bags of clay for later recycling.
yeah, it only took us, 3 months?
3 months to get a new shipment of our
red clay.
We were down to a box and a half. 3 bags, we are 75 pounds. And if we were to make a batch of amphora,
There would all go.
yeah, it takes 2 bags to make
3.
3 amphora. So yeah, that was about 4 amphora worth.
Or like other big jars.
Other big jars. The amphora size objects.
Okay.
Like the hydria and the stamnos and the crater. That's the word I'm looking for. Not as in whole, but as in giant wine mixing.
Giant pool. giant punch bowl. The
Yes.
origin of the punch bowl.
The origin of the punch bowl. Punch bowls go back to Greece. Actually, they go back even further.
Yeah. Okay, and now what do we have? Punches.
Cool.
Okay.
Mind you, it'll also get shorter when you start shaping it.
Well, part of it has to go in, part of it has to go out. So it'll probably equal out somewhat.
Yeah.
Because if I push at the bottom,
It goes taller and also it'll throw everything
oh,
off.
it makes it do the hula.
Yes.
I do this.
Do you want me to also do a second piece and then we can see which one of the two matches best after the firing?
Yeah, I can do that.
Do you want it to be the same size or maybe an ounce or two heavier?
Maybe an ounce or two heavier.
Gotcha.
And when it's going in, it's coloring. And when you're bringing it out, it's the word left within you.
There's a word for that.
Yeah. And suddenly just, that happens
Word.
sometimes. Yeah. I do. That
Got it.
happens sometimes.
Yes, we use a scale when it comes to the clay because it lends to
It's a food
repeatability.
scale.
Yeah.
I got it from Restaurant Supply.
Because
Because it was cheaper than getting any other kind of
Yeah,
scale.
shipping scales are really pricey.
We
Yeah.
killed one of those.
This is the scale.
And the one they had in the ceramic store was like really
It was like
pricey.
$80, and it was pretty much this, except I think it went up to 10 pounds. Oh, I turned it sideways and chunks of clay fell out.
Oh, yeah, we've had that one for like 10 years.
Oh, nice thing
It's
is
just
there's
dirty.
a manual adjustment, so I can make sure that the scale zeroes out. It's looking pretty good. Oh yes, and the top opening was 3 inches. Always forget how much this necklace jingles,
Yeah.
particularly considering I have the pendant underneath it. And then I also do have bells on it.
Yeah, the bells are what she was called when she was little, which was Sarah Jingles, because she had bells on her costumes. So I would be able to hear where she was.
Yeah, she put bells on my shoes. She threaded them onto the laces.
No, actually,
And then it was
the
the
first pair, that's just the way the shoes came.
Oh,
They were
really?
little toddler shoes. They with leather soles. They were white leather with a little bell.
For the
And I
longest
just-
time,
that's-
as a kid, I always had white leather shoes,
Yeah.
which was dumb in a way because of the amount of dust.
Well, they didn't stay white for long. Let's put it that way.
No, they were light colored
So,
shoes.
you know, people called you Sarah Jingles.
And it got to be a thing where people would give me bells.
Yeah, every year you would get more bells.
I banged the heck out of that one bedroom door, because
Yeah, because
as I got older, I had the string of bells that everything was hung. Put all the bells I'd ever gotten
all the
on
way
that
from
string.
little itty bitty bells to
Big honkin', brass ones,
yeah.
like 3 inches high, and I had them hanging on the doorknob. And anyone who touched that door would set off a cacophony.
Actually,
And
now I think
it didn't just scrape the paint, it also left grooves in the wood after a number of years.
that's okay. I fixed that.
Yeah, you're great with spackle. Is
Yes.
that a side effect of being, doing the whole thing with the clay, is being able to
Could be,
see the
because I don't
surfaces?
understand what's so hard, supposed to be so hard about doing,
Drywall.
drywall.
Spillover skills.
Yeah. And stick. Stick, damn you.
Is it fighting back?
Yeah.
Figured I'd move the improper sculpting pieces off of the fresh throwing shelves there.
Also, the reason for wearing dark colors. If I get clay on this,
It'll just powder off.
I'll powder off.
When I was little, my father made my garb party colored and in the brightest loud colors possible because I was fast. Yeah, I had the bells so she could hear me. I had the leading strings on my small garb.
And also,
small kid
you
garb.
had matching plaid.
Yes, and I had matching plaid. Yes, find the one with the rest of this color.
And when we're at the fair, you know, the security people thought it was just the greatest thing. I wish all parents did that.
Leading string. It's like when you have people.
Well, that was the period way of keeping track.
Yeah, there were strings. So there were.
They actually
there was
came
a
out.
leash on my garment.
Yeah, which masqueraded as looked like decorative sleeves, but they weren't.
They weren't sleeves. They were just strips sewn to the garment.
Kindred, good morning. Thanks for joining. You have any questions on?
I'm going to refresh the page because that is really out of sync.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm only just now showing off the scale. Where's the there it is.
And is there something on the other page?
It's just Catherine's comment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the things that, you know, parents do to keep their be able to keep track of their kids.
It's like nowadays seeing the negative commentary about, children, parents putting
the harnesses.
Yeah.
I also had a mundane one too for you guys.
Yes.
All three of you.
Yep.
You showed Colin how to use it as a swing, which I
thought it was only there because I was the one who used it as a swing when I was a kid, and I was the one holding the leash.
Yeah, but that's how I'd sprain my wrist one time because he jerked my hand sideways.
Well,
of course, that was about 20 years ago. He's gonna be 23 in about a month and a half.
Yeah, because I'm like, I almost said next month, but it's not yet October. It's close, but it's not there yet.
But it's also, that was a long time. And Christopher's never the one to wander off.
Or swing on things.
No, did not swing.
He likes his feet on the ground.
Thank you very much.
Because I have the whole row of cups. They're all chronologic in the row back there, way off in the background. So if anyone has any questions about what sort of pottery would be period to what time and place,
Or what kind of periods at what time period?
Yeah.
We'll have to do some that are 16. Because, I think it's getting back to the point where they want it to be
that
to
opens up
1650.
because they were talking about changing the SEA's stock date from 1600 to 1650, which is what it was when you first joined in 82.
Yeah.
So that would what I'll do is I'll start up a folder that is that 1600 to 1650 time period, because that opens up the Delftware. It opens up a lot of the Netherlandish and the actually interesting looking German.
Yeah.
Or Germany's.
The Germans.
Yeah.
The Germanic.
The Low Countries.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of terms because it wasn't actually a unified country for quite some time.
Not until
after our most recently immigrated family left.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother's family?
Yeah.
Yes. Is from Prussia.
The Free
Hamburg.
City. Hamburg. Thank you. All I can think is it
That was the actual it's off your dad's side.
They're from Prussia.
Yeah, because
Yes.
well, we do actually have a German, huh, Snake? They're
But
one of
there's
the
a
harder
reason why
ones to
we have no
track.
skin color.
Yeah.
No matter where you look, it's pale skinned people. Come from a long line of pale skinned people.
And you realize that
With one exception. Cherokee,
yeah,
which is like
that's on his dad's side
16th or 32nd at best.
at best. The one that we were able to find a linkage to back in the 1600s.
Well, direct. but
Yeah,
There's another one that is supposed to be close.
more recent.
Yeah, like early 1800s.
So that's where the tanning gene comes from.
Yeah, there's one per
That my
generation.
brother has. Not me. I don't tan. I sear. But other than that, yeah, I think the most southern of the lot when it comes to ancestors is probably the Germans.
Yeah.
Everybody else is further north.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Skin color.
You have Scandinavian, you have the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh.
The Welsh, yes. Now some of them do tan. Some of them, they're dark-haired and tan. Sometimes it's, that patchy tan, otherwise known as freckles. But they freckle heavily. And that one was only an ounce more clay.
It's amazing the amount of difference an ounce will make.
Yeah. There's the folders. Get this chair out of the way. The shop where old office chairs go to die.
Yeah. Trim off of the unevenness. Because that can stay.
We do also need a mini goblet form that's actually going to have that same design on it. What's the height?
4 inches.
Cool.
Because I'm seeing the shadow. If I do that, it's just a little more, but
Close?
it's close. Or what I can do. Advantage of it being just a little taller.
And cut down the lip. Always
There we
looks the lifting off moment. Looks cool. Okay, so we need a mini goblet, so I'll probably cut you off about that 9-ish.
Yep, and there we go. What I could do is make that a little bit.
Give it slightly more belly down
There
there.
we go.
That is not 9, that is only
Ta-da! Actually, if I make that go in just a little sharper, there
Ah.
it'll match even better.
yes. Because that is the other benefit of throwing on bats is you can take it off, look at it, more of an at an eye level height, and then put it back on. Which is not something you do if you're throwing it off the hump.
And there we go. On the shelf.
Go. And mini goblet, because someone wants a small drinking glass that they can tie a ribbon around the base of.
That'll be cute.
Yes. And it will
Go with
also have that string flower pattern is to go with the flask with the string flower
In the
pattern.
birdies.
Yes.
Where we got to combine 2 different,
Isnic patterns.
yeah, which is also really period thing to do because you'd have,
Because this particular pattern on the screen at the moment is 1580s. And this one, which we were combining it with because we were taking these birds that were on the design, and joining it with that string flower pattern. You can see how the two patterns use relatively similar colors.
People would be able to choose the elements that they wanted, not just,
Because,
oh,
again,
well, you choose
Lots of floral.
lots of floral.
That one, this one, the original was actually out of leather, but it used that same artwork style. So it's out of sync.
Okay.
By about 30 seconds from next.
Okay.
And then again, see that same color palette again. Okay, this jug here is again, see how little change has been in about 50 years worth of design. That one is 1600.
Yeah.
This one is the original from the Re-enactor.
So we do have some that are 1600.
Yeah, it's just
And what
very
about that one?
interesting. This one's also 1600.
Yeah, because it starts getting frillier.
Yeah, it gets
But I
more
like that. I like that pattern.
frillier. Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The Italian and the Italicos get a little more frilly, a little more delicate. Less blocks of design and more
Intricate.
wispy.
Wispy. Yeah.
And yeah, this varieties of heraldic patterns. And yes, that is there's plenty of drolleries there, which are the inspiration for the Viking kittens, the dogs of war. I mean, there's one of the patterns here. It appears to be a bear in a surcoat with a spear and shield. But yeah, these last two images here are 1600s. This is pretty. Because yes, minimize this. So what this folder is here is all of these images. They're listed by chronologic. Well, not so much with the Greek because their counter goes the opposite direction. So the Greek pieces they're fun.
You.
They're technical challenges. I think, like that one. That was a fun project.
Yeah.
And those freaking candy cane handles.
Oh, no. It's also very tall.
The thing is that long candy cane handle, the reason for this little counter curve here is that counterbalances the rest of the handle and makes it self-supporting.
Yeah. When it's still wet.
And when you're
attaching it.
Yeah, you're attaching it.
Oh my God, how are we going to get that? You want
How is
to
it
move
gonna
that?
not collapse?
How-
Yes. I'll take this away now. Because it's how we were going to do it without the
I go, well,
collapsing.
nothing else. You get some canned foods and you know.
Yeah, we built a stack of cans just in case it tried to slump.
Because I had to do that with some of the other Greek pieces.
Yeah.
And then took pictures of it and people were kind of, oh, coconut milk. And,
Yep.
yeah.
And this is an example. This was actually a Roman piece where the original is glass, painted glass, enamel glass. So it was recreated in ceramic.
Which is also a period thing to do.
This is actually a piece of carved wood, Scythian horseback. Lots of surviving wooden and cloth objects from that culture because they put their burials in permafrost, which is cool because then you get to
Sometimes
see the felt colors.
Yeah.
And then yes, it's the oil lamps, which are the pieces are molded and then assembled.
Which were even period construction.
Yes. Difference? Ours is glazed on the inside so that the oil does not leak through the clay. Which
Of course, a lot of what they used at that point was animal fat.
Which doesn't melt through quite the same.
Yeah, because it would stay solid when it wasn't in use.
Yeah. at the 900s through, let's say 1100s, you have the script pieces, which
are fun to do.
they're fun to do because the lettering, considering it was done with a brush, is very painterly in shape, and therefore
Yeah.
goes onto the pottery nicely.
And they're fun shapes to paint.
And I love some of the sayings
Oh yeah,
because they're
he
more
was
of
content
the
with his own
proverb
opinion.
style.
Runs into trouble.
Yeah, it runs into danger.
Yes.
Whereas this is the equine one. Take the middle road in all your affairs, and in his salvation. Don't ride too gentle a mount nor too obstinate to one.
You know, it's the whole proverb thing.
Yeah. Yes, it's the one that we generally refer to as the dot hell pattern because of all the tiny little dots. That it is said that he who is content with his own opinion runs into danger. Blessings to the owner. Did he include that blessings bit?
Oh yeah. Because they're just proverbs for the most part.
Yeah.
And there we go.
There is
Little-
why we called it the dot hell pattern.
I got a
Yeah.
better yeah, when we first started doing it we just had the one
We just
picture.
had- when
We
first
thought it
started-
was a plate.
Because when you're looking at this image, there's no optical tells as to what the shape of the object is. It wasn't until a few years later that we had somebody find for us this image, which had the side view.
It's
And
a
it's like,
bowl.
It's a deep bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a pretty shape. That is an elegant little goblet.
There we go. Little goblet.
Slide this onto the shelf.
My problem with this under is one sleeve is looser around the cuff than the other.
So it doesn't stay up on your arm. Do you need a hand rolling?
No. It's just I keep having to push that one up. The other one stays just
Okay,
fine.
do you feel in the mood for doing butterbell? Because I think we still have a few more to go.
No, not really.
Because you were complaining about your wrist being achy the other day. That's why
But
I
it
asked.
also, well, I could try.
Of course, we only have about 10 minutes left.
Yeah. And it'd take more than 10 minutes.
So
We could either stop here or fill up the last 10 minutes.
I am looking through.
If people have any other questions.
Yes, we're down to the last 10 minutes. Questions. Here we go. And I'll cut you off a piece for a 28 to 34 ounce mug.
Okay.
It's just a mug-shaped mug, but it's big. And it's gonna have a cat and Roman armor on it.
Okay. And those ones are cute. Because we have the Roman cats. The
Greek kitties.
kitties. We have
Probably gonna be
we have the
40 ounces.
Persian cat.
Yeah, the Persians.
The
They're in
Persian
Persian
Persians.
armor. That's too much clay.
Then you get into the dogs where you have the
The
German Shepherds.
Shepherds. Yes.
in Lands Connect.
40 or 43. Catherine says, "Don't hurt your hand." Yeah, that's watching you hold your hand. You're out of shot because I'll realize you're pressing on pressure points in your wrist.
Yes, I am.
So, 43 ounces good because it's a big mug.
We'll see.
And if not, it'll become a picture. Is it a wiggly bat?
It's an older bat.
So
I
I will
okay.
close up the bag. And I know we have handles now.
Yeah.
Because the other day we had, was it 17 mugs to put handles on? And realized we had 3 handles in the drawer.
Yeah.
Because, yes,
That's what I did the other day was handles.
so many handles. But what we'll do is we'll pull a lot of handles we'll make more than enough, and then
Ziploc bag.
we store them in Ziploc bags so that we have handles for the future. We don't always have to hold more handles, and then you have to time it so that the handles are the right sort of dryness, so that they're ready when the cups are the right sort of dryness. Bags.
Yep.
That's also the reason why we have multiple drawers full of plastic. I thought I saw this.
No, it's side to side, not.
Really? So that one's got its. Oh, that's gotta be annoying. Are you purposely making me rattle?
Yeah, see? And thumb. With one thumb.
So there's that one. And just blessings, prosperity, goodwill, peace, and happiness.
Yes.
Again, pattern with all another pattern with all sorts of dots. Mind you, that one's got the stripes, and making sure that you get the right number of stripes so they properly alternate all the way around. Talk about going blind. But that's another fun pattern.
Yeah. When have I done that one? Oh, God.
I think last time we did it, we just did the central pattern. It may have been a little bowl.
Yeah.
A smaller bowl. The one on this end is definitely a larger bowl. But yes, the Cashan style there. Again, the tiny feet.
Yeah, it's another thing. Don't really make them as tiny.
Yeah,
More
we
times
make
than
the
not.
handles larger
And
and the feet broader.
yeah, so it's a little more.
User friendly,
Yeah.
modernly functional. As people, you're not making the show out of drinking out of these pretty glasses often.
Uh-huh.
Just going to continue clicking through the slideshow. Oh,
And that previous one there, and it has the stripes between the blocks,
yes.
which is really kind of cool.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I also like this thin body. Now, unlike the Greek, which was painted in maybe a few details sgraffitoed through, these pieces you can actually see by the reflection. These pieces were painted black and then the whole pattern scratched back through.
Yeah.
And it had to have been done while the piece was still pretty darn wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something you can make out by seeing just the little bits of highlight on the edge of the color. Now this one was
It's painted.
definitely, that was just painted.
It's the crane.
Because yeah, you don't have that. And there's also a lot of soil staining.
Yeah.
Because the third version of these turquoise glazes were not very stable. This is the heavy. This one again, that one's just painted on.
You can't get that color, that exact color, and have it be food safe.
This is
I
as
know
close
what
as
goes
we can
into
get.
that, and that's
This
bad.
is toxic levels of copper.
That's
Like you'll get
really,
poisoning through your hands touching it, kind of toxic.
yeah.
This one's another one that's been sgraffitoed. The design was sgraffitoed through. This one doesn't have a lot of the way of pixels, but I can scroll in some because it's also relatively small there, so no one's going to be hurt too much by the blur. But you can see the little bits of highlight on the edge of the black regions.
What's the shape of the mug supposed to be?
Mug-shaped mug.
Okay. Because I realized it was just
only-
making a cylinder.
The only special thing is its sheer size.
Okay, 20 to 24 ounces, right?
No. 28 to 34.
Oh, so
Big mug.
I'm
Extra
not
big
making.
mug. I didn't cut you off play to make a heavy one. I cut you off play to make a big mug.
Because I'm thinking, well, it's coming out really big.
No, that is purposeful. It's the
Oh, the sun just came out. Ow.
yeah.
I was looking right towards the wall outside, which is light gray. Ow.
And so even on source images that don't have a horribly high resolution, you can still get a fair bit of detail. You really don't like her.
Yeah.
Your vision is not as happy with blur.
No. The eyes are always trying to make it come into focus.
But yeah, this is an example of the number of different shapes that pattern's been adapted to. Which is something that is very, because here you have the fish patterns. You have the little swimming fish, but they used it in a whole bunch of different ways. So even though we started off with just this one here, we found more of these patterns later. You can see how just the different adaptations. I like the spiral of fish. But yeah, the adaptation with it going around the plate. Is it going to be a 2-part bottle of a wine mug? No, this is somebody wants a giant coffee mug.
This is a coffee mug.
This is huge. I am assuming that this is going to be a big guy cup. I mean, yes, my tea mug holds like that 30-ish ounce mark, but big mug. Big mug. Can get an entire Roman invasion of kitties on there.
I know, huh?
Well, generally, the Roman they put a Roman temple on the other side, the building with pediments.
Yeah. That's it.
There we go.
And that's gonna be a big demo. Gosh,
Yes.
smooth off the edge a little bit.
Oh, it's got scritchy bits on the edge. And yeah, she's using the skin between 2 fingers.
Twin
It's round.
stone right here.
So you've got a fair bit of callus there now, don't you?
Yeah, I do. There. Well,
Okay.
if you think that's the shape of
That's a comfortable mouth interface shape once it's on the edge there. Yes. Big cup.
sometimes we get requests for big demos.
Really big drinking vessels.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are now at the end of our class time slot. So we'll sign off here.
Yeah.
So people can go on and check out the other classes
Classes.
happening for virtual fall tournament. Because
Yeah.
I think that's what they're calling it, fall tournament.
Yeah.
Because there's a Punderdome.
Yes.
So rather than, because they can't get together and do the fighting, they are going to duel with words.
Yes.
Bye. Find the right screen to turn it off. Bye. And it's muted. There we go.
There we go. And it's Lynn. No, she was all
Lynn
now-
joined in, yes.
and it's just period. Is it period for this? And it's all of a sudden it's oh my
Salt
god.
cellars? Yes.
Oh my god, are we
Juana actually gets primary blame credit, but we were the ones who hooked her in.
yeah.
Somebody who has found the SCA through cookies migrating into pottery.